Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about Kringle candle, cilantro, apple, and lime. Now, you may notice that this candle is not currently lit, and we're going to talk about that in this review. This is a candle that I actually have some experience with. This is a fragrance that made the crossover from the Country Candle lineup over to the Kringle lineup. We know that Country Candle is no longer in production, and earlier this year, we started to see some of the candles that were previously offered at Country move over into these large 2 wicks with Kringle. And I do have to say, you guys, this is a fragrance that I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about a whole lot. But this has always kind of been one that since I tried it a couple of years ago, that has kind of like flown under the radar. This is a fragrance that I actually really enjoy, specifically this time of year. So let's go ahead and get on into it. This 2 wick vessel I did purchase back in, I want to say it was early February, late January, early February, when they were running a buy one, get one 50% off sale. I am a Kringle Candle brand ambassador, but like I said, this one was not sent to me in PR. This is a candle that I purchased with my own money. As always, all of my reviews, you guys, I always keep it real with you. I let you know the pros, the cons, and put it in your court as to determine if a candle sounds like it's something that you would want to spend your hard-earned money on. So this vessel retails for $31. It's 22 ounces of 100% soy wax. I am pre-filming some of these candle reviews, you guys, and so you may notice that in a lot of these reviews, I am mentioning that I am not exactly sure of what the current candle sales are at the time that these videos go up. But I do know that we are at the time of the year where if it is not currently going on, we are approaching a time of year where I would not be surprised to see a Mother's Day sale pop up. And last year in 2025, that Mother's Day sale was like a buy one, get one free. It was a pretty good sale. So that's why I'm trying to prioritize getting some of these reviews up for you guys in case you have been eyeing any of these for the next Kringle sale. And yeah, just share my thoughts with you. So let's talk about cilantro, apple, and lime. This specific candle has a pour date of November 11th, 2025. The fragrance notes are listed as top notes of lime, tea, verbena, mid notes of mint, peach, and pear, and a base notes of apple and peach. So you might be looking at that and going, okay, why is there so much peach listed in a fragrance that's named cilantro, apple, and lime? I think a lot of people, when you see this one, you probably really don't know exactly what to expect. To me, you guys, this is it's a fruity note mixed with a little bit of like an herbaceous thing going on. If you are somebody who is very averse to cilantro, I am going to tell you guys, this is not like a straight up cilantro type of scent. I know to a lot of people, in fact, I have actually heard that this is a genetic thing. Um, Cilantro tastes and smells like soap to some people. And other people like me, I absolutely love the herb cilantro in just about everything. So to me, you guys, I do get an herbaceous note to this, but again, it's not straight up cilantro like I just made a carne asada marinade or I've just freshly made salsa in my house. I don't smell that much cilantro in here. There is a little bit of greenness. To my nose, I actually smell more lime. The lime note is definitely there. Um, but there is a bit, I don't smell anything minty in this. I would say that the lime note is toned down, say from like their fresh bergamot from, 2025 or any other, what's the other lime notes that I'm familiar with from Kringle? They had a lime splash candle, I want to say, in the reserve lineup a few years ago. That leaned a little bit more kind of like soapy lime. This to me, I think that those fruit notes, particularly the apple and the peach and the pear, they lend a little bit of sweetness that rounds this candle out. So it's a very lively, kind of, I would say like fruity, fresh fragrance, and not fresh in like cleaner or cologne, not like that way, but it's more like a fresh kitchen type of scent to my nose. I actually really like burning this one or having this fragrance going when I am making, getting ready to grill, have, this fragrance to me is very like fresh kitchen, but it's like early summer type of fresh kitchen type of fragrance. You guys know I'm a very seasonal burner. There's certain fragrances that I just think of certain seasons. And for whatever reason, this fragrance to me is like an April and May type of fragrance. Maybe it's because I live in an area of the country. I live in Arizona. We're very close to Mexico. Cinco de Mayo is a pretty big thing in this region of the country. And so I think of this fragrance like pairing nicely when I'm making Mexican food, even though, like I said, it's not overly like cilantro heavy, but I feel like a lot of the notes in here definitely complement that type of a meal when I am making it. I don't know, you guys, maybe I'm getting way into the weeds here with the fragrance notes. However, the thing that I am going to say, it's interesting that they list tea in the top notes here, because one of the pairings that I actually really enjoyed this with was from their Easter collection, which I'm not sure if any of the Easter stock is still in sale or still on sale or even in stock anymore. But there was one, I think the Teacup Tales from the 2026 Easter collection actually paired really nicely with this fragrance. I really liked it. Again, for kind of those fresh kitchen types of vibes going throughout my house. I really like that. I will also tell you guys that another candle that's in the reserve lineup, it's a reserve candle that's been around for a few years now, that I really like this with, is the pineapple cilantro. I think that that's a really nice combo. But yeah, I really like this fragrance. I've had familiarity with it. It was initially in the country lineup, and then it did also make a debut, or it did make an appearance in their painted 3-wick vessels. It was named Lime Lullaby, but the fragrance notes were the exact same. So if you're familiar with Lime Lullaby and you like that fragrance, that is what this is: cilantro, apple, and lime. They are the exact same fragrance. They were just in different packaging at that time. So that's enough for the fragrance. You guys know I like the fragrance, but we got to talk about the performance on this one. So you will see here that these wicks, that very, very puny, okay? And here's the thing with this one. First burn on this candle was great for me. Second and third burns, I started to notice, I was like, this candle was really strong initially, and now it's not throwing. And I was like, what on earth is going on? So, of course, went to look at the wicks, and sure enough, sorry, I had to take a little sip of water there, allergy season, and I don't want to start a coughing fit. But sure enough, you guys, the wicks were very puny. Again, I mentioned in another review that I picked up around this time for another candle that crossed over from the country lineup. I'm not sure the order in which I'm putting these reviews up for all of you guys, but I'll just say it was for Country Love. Country Love, I also had a similar experience with. I started to notice that the wicks, they weren't drowning to the point that they were self-extinguishing. I mean, I was still able to get a full wax pull, but the flames were not burning hot enough, or the wicks were not burning hot enough, that I definitely noticed a decrease in the strength and throw. Now, I have heard Mick say that sometimes citrus oils in particular can clog wicks. So I did dump a little bit of wax on this, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and see if that self corrects. Unfortunately, on this one, for whatever reason, the wicks were not self-correcting. And so I thought, you know what? This is a fragrance I know that I love. I'm going to go ahead and try crocking it. Now, here's the funny thing, you guys. The first time I crocked this, it still was not very strong. And I was like, what on earth is going on with this fragrance? But then the second time that I crocked it, it was back up to a more respectable level. It was definitely more so in line with like what I remembered it being. So I don't know, you guys. I guess for me, my expectations were really high, because when I had this candle in the Lime Lullaby, which was in the 3-wick, this fragrance was like an 8.5, 9 in terms of strength and throw. However, now in this 2-wick format, I would say that the first burn on this was about like a 7.5, I would give it. But then successive burns after that, the strength and throw was so low. It was like maybe like a 5. So this one's really hard to gauge, you guys, in this 2-wick format. I am going to settle that this is a fragrance that for me, now that I'm putting it in the candle crock, it's back up to about a 7 in terms of strength and throw. So I'm going to settle on it being around a 7. That being said, you guys, again, when I had this in the Lime Lullaby format, which was their 3-wick, this was a very, very strong fragrance. This is a scent that I would possibly reconsider purchasing in the future. I might be a little bit more, I would say on this one, you guys, this is just going to be my honest thoughts. Pick this one up if you happen to see it on sale for like 50% off. If it goes, if it goes down to like that 15.50 price point, I think that you're going to be happy with it. Just be aware that you might encounter some wick issues. I don't know if that happened to have been, with a specific like time frame that certain candles were poured, that those wicks were giving issues. We know Kringle, oftentimes they have great wicks, but we also know that there have been times where the wicks just are not performing well. And I will tell you guys that across other brands, they have also been experiencing some things with wicks. So I don't know if it's maybe something going on with the wick industry. But yeah, this one did get puny wicks, on the second burn. So might want to be aware of that. I would say that this is a fragrance that I would purchase it probably in the, probably on a decent sale. You can see my husband, he's getting ready to go in there and go practice his amazing guitar skills. He's actually a pretty good guitar player. So he's getting ready to go practice playing for worship at church this weekend. But anyways, you guys, overall, this fragrance gets 2 thumbs up from me. I do like the fragrance a lot. I hope adjustments are made to the wicks. And maybe I just got a one-off. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have purchased this one recently and you did not have any wick issues. Please chime in and let us know. But if you have, make sure you let us know there and maybe reach out to Kringle as well and let them know, because one of the things we know about Kringle is that they are great about receiving customer feedback. So I do have an affiliate discount code with Kringle. It's Katie15. It does not apply usually to sale items, but if you're throwing any full priced items or you're putting that route protection on there, the 15% will apply to those items. It is eligible for a commission, so please only use that if you're comfortable. But please hit the thumbs up button if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.